Hey, Scott Austin here. In this video, I'm going to walk through the store redesign that we did for the game Steward. And to start off with, let's talk about the branding. Um, Part of the redesign project was working with a graphic designer that the game Steward brought in to redesign the color scheme and all the graphics throughout the site. They did a fabulous job. So went with this blue and gold color scheme and all new graphics, like a new logo, and this was all redesigned. All the product seals were redesigned, and then throughout the store, let's see if we can. Let's just go to the contact page. A custom, piece of art there, and even if we go to a product page, there's some nice custom art for the tab. So try to put this graphics and color and theme throughout the store, and I think it did a fabulous job. You've got the scrimshaw effect, this nautical thing going on with the octopus and tentacles here, and it's really consistent throughout. So it's really nicely done. Uh, and these product seals that we use throughout it, just they're just beautiful. There's a lot of depth to them. They feel real versus very flat. Like normally I do flat ones, and I watch them build these with a lot more depth to them, and I really appreciated that effect. So here on the home page, this store is about selling board games that are sold through Kickstarter. Um, and what they do is they buy a bulk of the Kickstarter. So if you didn't know about the game when the Kickstarter went off, you could buy them after the fact through the game store. And they're the biggest one in the industry that does this, which is why we put game numbers throughout the store, right? So you can see here, 1,578 campaigns backed. That's a total number. And then for every collection and list that we go through, we show the number of games in that collection, and we even show it here. So we're doing these counts throughout so that their customers can realize that they have the greatest breadth and depth of games available for board games, that went through the Kickstarter process. So because they're the dominant number one in the space and they have the best numbers, they really wanted to showcase those numbers throughout the site, which is what we've done. And this graphic here is actually one of the most responsive elements that I've ever made, which may surprise you because it looks fairly simple. But what we've got going on, if I just go into responsive here, you'll see that it changes the text size and placements. Right now it's stacked up, and as we keep going, it'll just get more and more, flexible as I make changes. So it's a very responsive banner image. It's not an image. It's actually HTML and CSS grid layout in there, and I was really happy with how that turned out and how responsive it was. So what we found in looking at the Google Analytics when I started this project was a lot of people were using site search. So we made the store design search centric. And that ended up working out really well because now that the store has been live for a couple months, there's a lot more search traction and people are finding the products they're looking for through search. There's still, a lot of people are browsing also, but a lot of people are searching. And it's so search centric, so search heavy. We wanted to make sure, let's just go back to a nice phone size here. Um, we even hard coded the search box to always show up in the header. We're using the Flex theme in this one. And even if you do a search centric desktop theme, it doesn't put the search box like this. It puts a little search icon up here. And instead, we went with the search box always showing on the top of each page. And that's really helped people find what they're looking for because the search is readily available for them. And then there's lots of different ways they slice the games, classify them. They're all Kickstarter games, but some are exclusive, and there's different things that their customers understand really well. So we have filters, so you can start by looking at Kickstarter games or exclusives or news or almost gone, and then when you get into one of those collections, then you can filter into other important aspects about the game. The originally the store had literally 100 different filters on it, and they were using the Boost app. But what we found is customers were not using the filters. There was just a few things they were filtering on. So we reduced the complexity of the filters, and use the ones that customers were actually using. So let's go to the Almost Gone. This is a fun little collection. So what they're doing here is they're selling us a quantity of board games, and they'll buy, let's say, 50 of them for a Kickstarter campaign. But once they're out of their games, they're gone, right? So, and it's hard for them to restock them. They try to, but some of these games are, they only do one run, and then there's no more available. So the Almost Gone was an important thing for us from a merchandising standpoint to let people know. And on this page, what it is, it's everything with a quantity of three or less. And we sorted it by everything with a quantity of one in the store, and then everything with a quantity of two, and then everything with a quantity of three. So if you want to see what's the most limited items in the store, you can just quickly go to the Almost Gone page. And what I love is every time I come to this page, there's different content showing, and the count changes each time. So it actually shows that this merchandising is important for people, and that scarcity is something that actually will motivate people to make that purchase decision. Another thing that's really important is new games. So we have collections for new, and you can, there's a couple different ways you can look at it: new in stock, new pre-order, and all new games. But you can look at the newest games in the store also. And then there's the normal navigating, and let's just pick on this Mars Deluxe one here, and go into a product page. And we can see we've got that consistent branding, right? That blue and gold everywhere throughout. Um, and these products have a lot. And if you've ever seen a Kickstarter, there's a lot of content on a Kickstarter campaign, and there's a whole process that the store staff has developed where they scrape that information from the Kickstarter campaign and build out this very large, very robust product, description. Which this one, is going on and on and on and on, which is really awesome, right? There's lots and lots of content there. So all the content that's on the Kickstarter campaign, we're also putting up inside of the Shopify store. Now, this game is called On Mars, and there's different varieties of On Mars, right? This is the deluxe edition. So I'm going to call that On Mars a franchise for a second. And what we found is when people ordered more than one game in their order, that it was usually two games from the same franchise, or it could be a game and an add-on. So what we did is we really focused on this franchise concept heavily in the store. So if I go back a level here, you'll see the product title here is On Mars: Deluxe Edition. And we use that colon to signify to a lot of code that we built that, hey, this game is a franchise. So the first thing happens is when I go to the product page, the On Mars, the franchise name, is in its own line, and then Deluxe Edition is after it. And you'll also see here we have the shop all On Mars games, and down at the bottom, we've also got, let me scroll all the way back down again, long page. We've got this On Mars See Games and Collection. So here we're showing the games that are available also for purchase, or they are no longer available and they're out of stock. So let's go to the out of stock one for a second. What we did here is we're using the Klaviyo back in stock notification, so people can sign up and say, hey, if you ever get this product back in stock, let me know and send me an email. And the game store is actually using this as an indicator of which games are most important to their customers, so then they can go back to the publishers and developers of these games and see if they can get another product run made. And we also do the same thing here, where we shop all On Mars games. We can take you to a page, and this is what we call the quick order form, where I can say, hey, I want one of these and I want one of these, and quickly add them to the cart at the same time. And you can see the out of stock ones, and if it's out of stock, you can get the restock alert and sign up for it. So there's a lot of power going on right there, a lot of functionality at the franchise level. And let me show you a franchise with a lot of games in it. This one here has a lot, I believe. Yeah, this one has 60 games available, and then another 14 games that are out of stock. So if you wanted to purchase a bunch of these, you could just say, well, I want these 3 games here. You notice my cart is empty right now. I add selected to cart, and it's going to drop all three of those into the cart. And there the three of them are. Um, and notice here that we've got a free shipping promotion here, we've got a free shipping promotion here, and we've also got another free shipping promotion here. Now, their free shipping is in the United States only, and what this store does, it's in a lot of languages and a lot of currencies. This is a Shopify Plus store, which allows you to do up to 20 languages, and I think there's 20 languages in here right now, and tons of different currencies. So if we were to pick a different language, let's just pick German and turn off that Google Translate and just go to euros. Right, we get rid of the free shipping promotion because now they're in the German language and the euros. We make the assumption they are no longer in the United States. So we got rid of the free shipping promotion that was up here. We got rid of the free shipping promotion that was here, and we got rid of the free shipping promotion that was here. So now I'm just going to go back to English and American dollars. That list is so long it's actually hard to get to sometimes. So now what I want to show you also is not only did we localize this for all these different languages, and the app we're using here is Langify. This Game Steward store was using Langify before we did the redesign, and we kept using it. And it gave us a lot of control. There's a lot of work to set up all the custom code and everything to work inside of Langify, but once you do it, actually works pretty well. And it even does bi-directional languages. So this is Hebrew. And you can see now the site is switched to be bi-directional. It's the other direction now. And we've even got like this responsive element going in the opposite direction. So let's get that back to something that I can read English. Yeah, so let's go now into, let's just go to a new game, show you another game page. So we've got these different product tabs that are, or product seals based on the criteria of the game, and some of them are store level, like full money back guarantees, a store level value prop. And then we got this tab functionality here with this graphic behind it that I showed you before. And the first one is the contents. This is the contents that they scraped from. And see, this Kickstarter game doesn't have as much content as that other one did. And there's categories. So the games are classified by a bunch of different categories. A got questions. One of the things this store does really well is their service is fantastic, and the reviews just say great service, fun team, not friendly people and all that kind of stuff. They actually answer the phone. So we list their phone number here, we list their phone number up here, and I think those are huge trust builders, and especially because they actually answer the phone and give you good advice. They've got an FAQ because a lot of people have a lot of questions about the purchase process. Some of these games aren't, you buy it now, but it's not going to ship because the Kickstarter hasn't finished the whole development process. It might not ship for 6 months, a year, or whatever. So lots of questions about the process. So that's all answered in the FAQ. Even more, they talk about the same things within the shipping page. That's a lot of shipping information, but there's a lot going on there because of the delayed, pre-order way that most things work. Talk about the money back guarantee. And then because these games are usually all fulfilled before, or they're all sold out before they're ever fulfilled. If they do an order of 50 of them from the Kickstarter campaign, and it takes a year for them to get their games in, all 50 have been sold by the time they're actually fulfilling them. That meant that doing customer reviews at the product level really wasn't going to be useful. So what the store was doing before, and we continued doing, was they were doing Google reviews, and here you can see they've got 1,161 Google reviews with a 4.9 rating. And if you read through them, there's some really nice, there we go, they're friendly, their service really shows through in the reviews that they get. But we're using Google reviews for that. And I actually didn't believe you could get Google reviews into the store because these are Google reviews. There's two review systems in Google, which is kind of nutty. one on your My Business page and one in the other part that Google stores them in. And there's no app that actually gets them into the other ones into the Shopify store. But the store staff actually found one. I think it's called Elf Site, and it's under development, so it was a beta. But we're really happy that we actually started pulling those reviews into the store, because that took quite a bit of work to figure out how to do that. So we've been through the games. We went to the cart. Let's just show you the cart again, and then from there going to checkout. So on the cart, what we're doing is we're also showing games. So that you might also love are just other games that are in the franchise. If you've got more than one, and if you've got more than one, let's pull these off the. Actually, I'm gonna pull this game off because it has so many games. You saw before, it's got 60 games in it. Let's just go into some smaller games. Oh, let's pick Zombicide, add that to the cart, and then I also want to add Mars to the cart. And what you'll see is in our cart, we show the 2 games, we show the free shipping and all that good stuff. And down here, we show You Might Also Love, and you'll notice all of these games are from the same franchises of games in the cart. So On Mars and Zombicide, and these will all be On Mars, Zombicide, 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 blah, 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 blah. And we do 2 rows of them, and they're all in stock games. So you can pick any one of these and add it to your cart and add it to your order. And then when we go to checkout, we've got that same strong branding that we had on the website, that strong blue going on here, and then the logo. Notice there's 2 different logos. We had the one with the tentacles before. This is the more simple logo. And let's go back to our cart. And I actually just want to do one quick check to see what we did for a mobile logo. Yeah, we went with the simple logo for mobile also, and not the octopus one. So now let's look at some of our evergreen pages. About us, here's the owners, Dan and Michael. Here's the rest of the team. These photos ended up turn out really well because they shot on a blue background with a faded thing, and I ended up putting it on the same blue, and I don't know, I just love the way that looks. I think that came out really good. Here's their office, and we actually put the Game Steward logo on the side of their building through Photoshop. Store reviews we showed you in a tab, and this is it done on a Google, or just an iframe from Google. Now here's the interesting one, is past games. So these are games that they sold before, but now they're out of stock. And most of them, they wanted to get feedback from their customers on which games were important to them. So we put in all the past games, and here you can see we've got 1,700 of them. And you can get a restock alert here. You can go to the product page and get a restock, sign up for the restock alert there also. So that's really good that, and what's happened is in Klaviyo, we've now gotten hundreds and hundreds of people saying, signing up for these restock. And that's now them voting essentially for, hey, I'd love to see this game again. And this helps the store staff decide what games they should pursue getting a new run of from the developers and publishers. So we're going through our footer, our elements here. Contact us page. I like showing the map to show where they are. These, an American company here. It's always good to show that. FAQ with that nice accordion functionality. And then a feedback page. And this was an anonymous feedback page if anybody wanted to give feedback. So that is the Game Steward store redesign. It's a Shopify Plus store, which is why it has so many languages. And we use the Flex theme for this one. So thanks for watching.